So my youngest is getting married. She's 21.
21.
She's been a joy of my life. Her being the youngest, she really enjoyed that role. She allowed me to be mommy longer than any of the other independent ones. And this transition's been difficult for me. She's ready. I know that she is, but there are still moments when I find myself kind of just really emotional wreck over I have to share her now, and it seems kind of unhealthy to me a little. Like, I don't know if it's normal, if it's healthy.
Wait a minute. Hey, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hate to do this. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it even worse.
Oh no.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're not even gonna get to share her. When a kid grows up and gets married, they actually belong to someone else. And
I know.
if this goes well, they will share their life with you. It's like to realize how deep this leaving and cleaving thing is, and how important it is. You no longer have her, and you get to share her. No, I'm sorry, it's worse than that. But if you do it well, then it's going to go great, and your adult relationship with her after she's married and moves, that's going to be maybe the deepest experience of relationship with her that you've ever had. But anyway.
Well, that's what I want, is it to go well, because like right now she calls me her best friend to everyone. We are extremely bonded on a very deep level. We discuss boundaries together all the time.
That's great.
She's just like my best friend now that she's an adult. You get to do that, right? So it's just every once in a while I find myself struggling with, if she spends a little bit more time over at the other place, and I know that I've got to let go, and I know I've got to do that.
What do you mean the other place? Her fiance?
The wonderful other family that she has now, and they're amazing, and they love her, and
okay, so I think I get it. So what is the issue? I mean, I got the issue.
Okay.
What is the question?
The question is, how do I demonstrate to her that I'm here, I'm available, without, and the other mom's struggling too, by the way. We've talked together. She's struggling equally. But I'm here, but without crossing those boundaries. I want to know, like, what is maybe couple of tools I could use to demonstrate appropriate boundaries with her, so that I can let her grow without, making her feel guilty or bad for, normal, for what she should be doing,
You don't want, do you remember the old American Express ads? American Express, don't leave home without it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be an American Express mother, right? Don't leave home without her.
No.
The way that God has designed this thing is that we grow up, and there's here's mom and the family and all that, and they're like the center of everything. You can't even get, you want to, they go take a nap so I can have some time. And then if you do that well, then they go like this, and they start to face the outside world, and then they come back like this for a while, refueling, and then they firmly get planted in the outside world. And then it's a way different dynamic. And that's when they're really independent. And that is actually what you want. Now, I'm going to give you a couple. I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. When you're saying, y'all are best friends, I'm going to be honest with you about this. Okay. When you say y'all are best, if you mean you're good friends, that's great. But if, I have two daughters, 17 and 19, and I really would hope that we're not their best friends. I would hope that they have moved the source of their main emotional fuel to being, the adult community of peers that they're building. whether that's her youth group
Yes.
or friends or, whatever it is. So I don't know how you mean that, but one of the things you asked a question, how to be talking to her, I would say, here, let me share a little wisdom with you. Here's what I've learned in my life. So we have our families, and our family is a great source for a lot of things. They're supposed to be a source for a lot of things. But when we grow up, then we have to make sure we're building our own, call it a spiritual family, a community, a support network.
Mhm.
And so I
Mhm.
want you to have that as well as me and as well as us. And so maybe what we can talk about is look at it like a pie chart. Like this is you, and you got a lot of different stakeholders in your life. The first and primary one's going to be your new husband, right? And
Yes.
then you got your new in-laws, and then he's got us and our family, and then you got your community, then you got your job. So as we look at this pie chart, and I might even put it on a sheet of paper, let's talk about some mutually agreed upon expectations of how often you want to see us? When would it feel intrusive to you? When does it feel controlling?
Mhm.
And really have a good
Mhm.
conversation about that if it doesn't happen naturally. And then the second thing that I would do, if I were you, is I would thank God that you have a daughter, A, that loves you and wants to be with you, and B, that you love and want to be with. I mean, I know we always love our kids, but some people, it's like I wish they would behave in a way that I'd want to have a relationship with them. And you guys have that. And I would
Yeah.
celebrate them. That is so, so cool. And
It
then figure
it
out how to
really is
divide the time.
awesome.
And then the last thing I would leave you
Yeah.
with is remember this: when you miss her, whose problem is that?
Mine.
That's right. That's right. I
I
will
know.
never. And so then you got to have your
And
best
I've even
friend.
told her, honestly, like I have told her, like when she first gets married, I won't be the first to call, but just because I know I have to put a guard on myself. Like, call me when you're ready to talk, or when y'all are finished, and celebrating. And when
When
you're
y'all
ready
are
to talk,
finished.
call me
Oh,
first.
finish. That's
Celebrating.
that's funny.
I'm not going to call
That,
you first
that's
because I
funny.
don't want to be that
Yeah.
mom that just, that interrupts the beginning of
Great.
something new and great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, if you love
It's
somebody,
just
set
so
them free, and
hard.
it's hard. If you love somebody, set them free, and they'll return to you. But if you keep
Yes.
trying to hold on, then they'll have to continue to establish their freedom. And you don't want that coming from the husband, where you are in between the two of them. And I'll close with this story. Um, uh, my oldest, Olivia, when we dropped her off at college, and I remember still feel it
I I know. I
when
know.
when I closed that door.
I know.
I thought I was going to die.
I
And Tori,
know.
Tori and I, Tori was going to stay till the next day. I had to leave. I had to go somewhere. We moved her in. I found out that Uber does have Kleenexes, but I remember getting in the elevator and feeling like this is the worst. Yeah. Terrible.
It
But
is.
I remember at the same time thinking, this is a self-inflicted wound that I am proud of, and I've got to celebrate this because this is what I've prayed and worked for 18 years, that this girl would grow up and be independent and get to go have her own life. And
Yes.
I love that. I'm gonna celebrate it, and I hate it with every fiber of my being. So that's what I want you
A
to do is get.
necessary pain. Thank you for
That's what
that.
it is. Okay. Thank you for your call. You sound like a great mom, and congratulations to your new son-in-law. Tell him it sounds like to me that he did all
He's
right in the mother-in-law
wonderful.
department. So that's a good thing.
Oh, thanks.
He's a lucky boy. Our number, 844-940-2774. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go screwy in relationships. One of the ways we can do it is we can hang on so tight that our oneness becomes smothering and controlling. And the other way to do it is we're so separate and independent that we don't have any relationship at all. Now, what we just heard from Kathy was, we talked about that, and I love how she's concerned about it. Oh my gosh, how I wish every mother in the world were concerned. I don't want to be controlling of my daughter. There are some there's people out there, Kathy, they're listening right now and they're saying, I want to start over. Will you be my mother? You know, you actually are concerned about that. You said you don't want to put guilt and this, that, and the other. So, you know what? Each one of us has to carry this dynamic in all of our relationships. When we have enough togetherness and enough separateness, I love the advice that the guy on the radio a few minutes ago gave you. And because I really believe in this, it's so important to sit down and talk about this stuff. And sometimes when we put it in a little chart or a pie chart, it's like a budget. You got $10. How much you're going to spend on milk? How much you're going to spend on eggs? How much you're going to spend on this? Well, you know, you got so many days and so many weeks and so many months in the year and so many holidays. What are our expectations? How many times are you going to spend it at home? How many times are you going to spend it out here? What's this? Get your expectations clear. It takes care of a lot of the problems. All righty.